Hello, this induction video aims to provide drivers coming onto site at Beddington ERF with the information they will need to work safely. This diagram shows the different areas of site, including the location of driving routes and key operational areas, including the main haul road, the weighbridge, food and green waste recycling areas, the tipping hall, the diesel tank, APCR and lime unloading areas, bulky waste and shredding area, the on-site fire muster point, and offices and car parking spaces. Although not labelled on this diagram, the quarantine bay can be found here, after the weighbridge. There are different routes on site you need to follow depending on what you're delivering. To tip waste to the ERF bunker, you will arrive on site by the main haul road. Here, traffic lights will guide you to the correct weighbridge, normally to the left of the weighbridge building. You will then drive over the weighbridge and up the road towards the tipping hall. After tipping, you will then exit the tipping hall to the right, past the diesel storage tank, and following the road round to the south side of the building before exiting via the weighbridge. To tip food waste and green waste, once again drive over the weighbridge, heading north towards the tipping hall. You will see signposts for turning on your left. Turn left down this short road and into the food and green waste recycling area. Take note of the stop line before entering. Once you have finished tipping, continue round towards the recycling building before exiting site via the weighbridge. For visitors and those coming onto site for reception, at the end of the main haul road, turn right up towards the admin block, where you'll find the main reception. Drivers for landfill should turn left at the end of the haul road. Take note of all give way and stop signs, especially on the tipping hall road. There are multiple pedestrian crossings on site not indicated by this diagram, including 2 on the way towards the tipping hall and more by the diesel tank and the APCR unloading areas. There are also pedestrian crossings at the weighbridge. There are 3 weighbridges operating on site. Be aware the flow of traffic over these bridges is subject to change, so pay attention to traffic lights before entering the weighbridge. South London Waste Partnership, or SLWP, drivers will be given a 9-digit round code and a 4-digit PIN. When SLWP drivers arrive at the weighbridge, this PIN number must be entered in, following the instructions on the workstation screen. Non-SLWP drivers will be weighed onto site manually. If you aren't sure or are having problems, use the intercom to speak to an operator. If you require assistance whilst on site, stay in your cab, sound your horn 3 times with each blast lasting to 1 second, and a member of staff will come to assist you. Vehicles are not allowed to park on site unless instructed by the shift team leader. The site rules at Beddington ERF are as follows. The site speed limit is 10 miles per hour. The speed limit inside the tipping hall is 5 miles per hour. Smoking or vaping is not permitted on site. Mobile phones are not to be used on site unless in an emergency. The recreational use of drugs and alcohol is prohibited on all Viridor premises. CCTV and ANPR is in operation across the site. Please note there are driver welfare facilities on site, but they are only to be used in an emergency. Only drivers wearing the approved PPE are permitted to exit the cab in order to operate their vehicle. Members of the cab crew are only allowed to exit the cab in an emergency. All Viridor staff, visitors and contractors are to be treated with respect, dignity and politeness. The first failure to comply with Viridor site rules will result in the issue of a yellow card. A repeat offence will result in the issue of a red card. Drivers issued with a red card will be banned from site. Under no circumstances shall a driver walk or work under any part of their vehicle while attempting to tip waste at Beddington ERF. A red card will be issued to individuals who pass under any part of their vehicle. For all persons leaving the cab, the following PPE is required: a hard hat, safety glasses, high visibility clothing, gloves and safety boots. Fire muster points are clearly signposted on site and are identified on the earlier diagram. On hearing the alarm, all persons must proceed to the muster point immediately. Drivers are responsible for ensuring this includes all vehicle passengers. Please leave keys in the vehicle in case the vehicle has to be moved by the emergency services. Do not return to your vehicle until a fire marshal tells you it is safe to do so. When given a tipping bay number, reverse towards the designated bay to a point where you can open the doors or nets without entering the 2-metre exclusion zone. Reverse up to the wheel stops and discharge the contents of the vehicle into the bunker. Once tipping is complete, pull forward of the 2-metre line to a point that you can close the doors and lower the nets without entering the 2-metre exclusion zone. Except in the case of an emergency, only the driver is allowed to exit the vehicle whilst inside the tipping hall. Do not leave the tipping hall until your nets are lowered, your trailer doors are closed, and the tipping apron exit roller shutter door is fully open. Hazardous wastes, including hazardous clinical wastes and gas bottles, are not accepted at the ERF bunker. Beddington ERF does accept offensive clinical wastes. These are contained in yellow bags with the black stripe or tiger bags. However, the site does not accept hazardous clinical wastes. These are contained in orange bags and consist of wastes such as sharps boxes and medicines. In the tipping hall, pedestrian access is not permitted within 2 metres of the tipping edge at any time. This area is defined by the hatched marking in front of the tipping edge. There are curbs to stop you from reversing in, but jogging of the vehicle to remove stuck waste will not be tolerated. When you are leaving the tipping hall, the exit door will be on your right. If the roller shutter door is down, your vehicle will be detected when you approach and the door will automatically open. You should then turn right to follow the one-way system to the weighbridge. Please wait until the door is fully open before exiting. Be aware of vehicles approaching from the left as you exit the tipping hall. To access the recycling area, continue down the Hall Road and over the weighbridge, following the road around towards the tipping hall. Signposts will direct you left along a short road towards the recycling area. When finished, continue round, turning right towards the weighbridge. When tipping, reverse into the bay when directed by staff, as different boroughs have different bays. Only the driver is allowed to exit the vehicle on site. Open the rear doors, taking care that the back does not hit the roof. Not all tunnels are the same height. Discharge the load and then pull forward out of the tunnel until only the back door is within the tunnel. Take extra care when exiting and entering your vehicle. Do not drive across the yard with the doors open. Please note, only the vehicle driver has permission to exit the vehicle whilst tipping to operate the vehicle hydraulics. Do not walk across the yard. Wait and attract the attention of a Viridor operative who will then give further instructions. Please note, urinating on site is prohibited and will result in an instant red card. When collecting waste, only enter the area when told to do so by an operative. The trailer is to be cleaned out of the way from the loading area. Ask site staff if you're not sure. A safe system of sheeting and de-sheeting is to be followed. Stay in your vehicle whilst loading is being undertaken. The loading shovel operator will instruct you when loading is complete. Whilst attending to your vehicle, you must stay within 1 metre of the vehicle, for example, when de-sheeting or operating the hydraulics. Note, please stay in your vehicle whilst mobile plant is in operation. When accessing the crow's nest, you must either use a harness or engage the chain gate. When entering the green waste and recycling area, follow the directions to the tipping area. The site is part of a wider construction programme and routes are liable to change. Wait at the tipping area until called forward by Viridor personnel. Follow the marked routes to exit the site. Do not exit the vehicle when mobile plant are being operated. Under no circumstances is anyone to tip without authorisation. These photos indicate the route you will take when exiting the weighbridge towards the tipping hall. Signs will guide you along the road and round to the right towards the tipping hall entrance. These photos indicate the route you will take when leaving the tipping hall. When exiting the tipping hall, you will turn right out of this building, past the diesel tank on your left. You will follow the road around to the shredder bay and the bulky waste area. At the end of the road, you will wait at the line before turning left and exiting towards the weighbridge. Finally, if you have any questions on what was covered in this induction, please contact your supervisor.